I am interested in people coming to my nursery and being closer to nature, so that they can touch the chickens, drink an ecologically clean egg, eat some honey without any additives, have an epitherapy session, and spend some time in the outdoors. I want to show that Ukraine has everything for people to come here and enjoy their stay. Garden flowers, especially perennials, are the main complement to any territory that pleases the eye with a vast array of colors. A perennial is a plant that lives longer than 2 years. This term is most often applied to herbaceous perennials, since trees and shrubs usually live for a long time. Even though annual plants can decorate a garden throughout the whole season with an abundance of bright colors, it is worth noting that more and more gardeners prefer perennial plants that bloom for much longer. Andriy Voitko, the director of the nursery of such plants, has been involved in this business for many years, and he plans to live a very long time, just like his plants. I plan to live about 150 years. Everything is still ahead of me. I'm 50 at present, so everything is going according to plan. There are about 1,500 species of plants in our nursery, almost all of which can be used for medicinal purposes. They used to be used in medicine, but now they're used in landscaping. This is a perennial aster, a wonderful honey plant for bees, for the autumn honey harvest. This plant blooms until the late frost and replaces the chrysanthemum, which has to be dug up as it does not spend winter well. But this plant is a perennial. It winters in the open ground and does not need to be covered. We have 1.5 dozen varieties of these plants. White, purple, blue, tall, short. It's a great plant for landscaping. In addition to the possibility of growing in the same place for a long time, perennials can survive 2 to 3 years without being transplanted. They also have other advantages, like great resistance to frost, low care requirements, the ability to maintain decorative qualities throughout the whole season, and they're perfect for most mixed flower gardens. The financial benefit when planting a garden with perennial plants is equally important, as in a few years you'll be able to propagate the plants for the purpose of selling, exchanging, or creating new compositions. We only grow perennial plants in our nursery. Many species and varieties that do not require shelter for winter can get through winter perfectly well. Plants for a flower bed are selected according to their flowering periods. It is possible to make a beautiful flower bed that blooms from early spring until late autumn, which is called a continuous bloom garden. This is where we grow several varieties of thyme. This plant is medicinal, minty. It creates a great aroma in the summer sun. It can be used instead of green lawns. You can walk on it because it restores itself quickly. It does not snap and rises back up. In addition, each variety of thyme, and there are more than 10 here, has a different aroma, from the common forest thyme to lemon thyme, cinnamon thyme. There are lots. You can also add it to meat dishes. Even bees like it. The smell is impossible to describe. Tea will taste great. This thyme is completely different. It is slightly yellowish and smells of citrus. This one with big leaves. There are all the flavors here. It's impossible to describe. We have been working together for 3 years now. In the first year, we ordered plants by mail. This year and last, we came here in person for them.
А кілометраж 600 кілометрів ми приїхали.
We drove 600 kilometers, but such high-quality planting material is worth the drive.
Такої якості посадочним матеріалом варто з'їздити.
К нам приезжают со всей Украины.
People come to us from all over Ukraine. We do not do deliveries on principle.
Мало кто любит. Мы не занимаемся доставкой. Принципиально. Клиент,
A client who comes to the nursery in person will choose many more plants than if I were to show pictures of them. It's an advertising trick. When clients come to the nursery, they see all these plants, and they will buy more than if they were to order from a website.
который клиент хочет.
There are new plants that were brought from abroad that clients want to get.
Обычно
They're fertilized with chemicals for rapid growth.
кормлены препаратами.
So, in other words, these plants are chemicals addicts. When we get them from abroad and they get into our soil, a substrate without the chemicals that they had been given, they don't feel so good.
Даже наш субстрат, нормальный субстрат, без подкормки, без тех химических препаратов, которые им давали кушать.
Such plants will either die, or our clients will say, "What did you sell us? It's not growing." That's why I need to sell plants that are already adapted, as they grew in my soil, got used to my water and earth without additional fertilizing.
И, грубо говоря, без дополнительных.
This difficult stage usually takes 2 to 3 years.
Занимает обычно 2-3 года. Земля не должна истощаться.
The earth must not become depleted, it must be fed. My plants have 5 to 10 centimeters root systems, so they don't deplete the soil. They're also short, so they do no harm.
И они по высоте, вы же видите, они невысокие, то есть они вреда не приносят.
Очень рекомендую.
I highly recommend planting cereals because they add a sense of lightness of a natural garden, as if it grew on its own.
Легкости естественного сада. Как будто оно уже росло само по себе. Вот я стою.
I'm standing near silvergrass, which is a decorative grass that's popular right now.
Очень популярна.
It can grow from 3 to 10 years, so it doesn't need to be replanted every year.
От 3 до 10 лет.
Nothing conveys beauty and splendor like these cereals. Cereals differ in height. Some can be taller, some shorter.
Красоту и пышность, как эти злаки. Есть злаки разной высоты. Они могут быть и ниже, и выше. Сейчас так
The weather is hot right now,
очень сильно жарко стало, и люди склоняются покупать.
and people tend to buy taller plants that retain moisture and provide shade, which makes them resistant to hot conditions.
За счет этого более стойкие к нашим солнечным жарким условиям. Это одно из
It's one of my favorite plants because it is very soft, gentle, and fluffy.
такое нежное и пушистое, да. Оно очень
It looks really good in compositions with perennials, with coneflowers. Silvergrass is also good because it looks great in winter.
которые очень-очень красивые, которые я очень люблю. Еще
It does not wither, but leaves lush inflorescences.
он не отмирает, а остаются такие пышные
When you go outside in winter, silvergrass looks like a cloud of fluffy hats,
шапочки.
and it is very beautiful. The garden can look very beautiful in winter because of cereals. It requires minimal care and doesn't get sick, which is a big plus.
За ним минимальный уход, он ничем не болеет. Это большой плюс. Если он еще
If it is small, it needs to be weeded, but if it's large, it prevents weeds from sprouting, so it requires little care. Minimal care gardens are popular right now.
уход, что сейчас в тренде, в моде сады малого ухода.
Почему питомников таких мало в Украине?
Why aren't there many such nurseries in Ukraine?
Такое напряжение.
Not everyone can take on such an amount of work. It takes a lot of effort, and it is not just looking after plants. It is collecting such a large collection of over 1,000 species of plants.
В количествах более 1000 видов растений. Все, что может зимовать, то, что называется...
Everything that can winter, like alpine plants and cereals.
У нас это все практически есть. Сколько я себя...
We have all of that. For as long as I can remember, my parents grow gladioli, carnations, and chrysanthemums for cotton from the early 70s.
На срез. Но нас тогда называли в то время в советской...
In Soviet times, we were called speculators. Although those who said that probably never tried growing these plants. It's not easy. My parents grew plants for as long as I can remember.
С цветами. Но совмещая работу...
They combined the jobs of doctors and store owners. I grew up among plants.
Я вырос. И когда...
When I was working with cars, it was not very enjoyable, since metal does not give off the heat that plants do.
Он не передает того тепла, которое передает вот именно растение. Мне приятно заниматься...
I like working with plants, planting stalks, tearing them off, dipping them in water, and growing a beautiful bush out of it.
Я уже третье поколение.
I'm the third generation that works with plants. Everything began with my grandmother, then my father, and now with me.
Папа, и вот уже я, у меня еще брат, сестра есть, которые тоже...
I also have a brother and sister who want to do this. It's a family business.
И семейный такой бизнес. Мне нравится...
I like the fact that it looks aesthetically pleasing. It lifts the mood, cheers you up. There can be no bad mood with flowers. Everything is green here, and green is the color of joy and happiness.
Тут все зеленое, а зеленый как бы цвет радости, цвет счастья.
Хочется, чтобы Украина...
I want Ukraine to flourish, and I want every yard to have 11-meter-high fences instead of high fences.
А это были там максимум полуметровые, метровые зеленая изгородь. Мы находимся на плантации.
We're at the plantation of blue spruce, which is designed for living fences. Behind it is an awful-looking wooden fence, which I would like to replace with something of a more European level, to teach others that you don't need concrete fences when you can have a beautiful green living fence.
А делать просто красивую зеленую изгородь живую.
Я считаю, что ландшафтные...
I think that the landscape industry will develop rapidly because people living in the cities are tired of dull grayness and want something green and beautiful.
Им хочется чего-то зеленого, красивого. Поэтому они могут на своих дачах...
So they can use plants that we grow at our nursery to make minimal care gardens at their dachas.
Делать сады малого ухода и использовать растения, которые растут на нашем питомнике. Украина — это...
Ukraine is a green country with good soil, so I believe everything will be green. All of Ukraine when you look at it from space.
В зеленых красках, как вид с космоса на Украину, она будет вся зеленая.
Моё там, где есть душа.
My place is where there is soil and warmth. These herbs give off warmth. I don't know about the soul, but you get the most satisfaction from herbs.
Получаешь удовлетворение. Ассортимент большой, но...
The range is large, but I want to emphasize this business with the presence of something else, not just perennial plants. I also have lavender, honey. You can come here and have a beautiful photo shoot, eat some snails in the outdoors. I'm interested in people coming to my nursery and being closer to nature.
На природе, на этой же равлика. Интересно, чтобы на мой питомник еще приезжали, могли ближе быть к природе. Чтобы они могли...
So that they can touch the chickens, drink an ecologically clean egg, eat some honey without any additives,
Есть без всяких добавок. То есть мед...
have an epitherapy session, and spend some time in the outdoors. I want to show that Ukraine has everything for people to come here and enjoy their stay.
Вот с пчелами ближе быть. Ну, именно представить, что на Украине есть все. Чтобы к нам приезжали и получали удовольствие от этого. Это Украина, мы здесь хотим.
We must make Ukraine ourselves.